Hi everyone, and welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm your host Adrian, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you're doing well wherever you're watching from. Today's episode? Oh, it's a big one. We're diving into something that has stunned, disappointed, and frankly outraged many royal watchers and veterans alike. Once again, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, a man who served his country with courage and commitment, is being written out of the royal narrative. This time it's over Armed Forces Day. Yes, Armed Forces Day meant to be a moment of national gratitude for all those who have served in uniform. And yet the man who completed 2 tours of Afghanistan, rose to the rank of captain and became an Apache helicopter commander was completely omitted. Today we unpack that snub and why it matters. We celebrate Harry's real military record, and we examine what this tells us about the current state of the royal family and the troubling politics of visibility and erasure. So grab a cup of tea and settle in. This one's going to be powerful. On June 28, 2025, the royal family's official social media channels posted a commemorative tribute for Armed Forces Day. As expected, it included messages of gratitude for the tireless efforts of servicemen and women, thanking them for their bravery and sacrifice. A carousel of images followed a now familiar format used to spotlight the royal family's ties to the military. King Charles, Prince William and the late Prince Philip were all honoured. Their careers, however brief or symbolic, were celebrated with grandeur. King Charles was portrayed as a noble naval officer and jet pilot. Prince William's role as a search and rescue helicopter pilot in the RAF was presented with full fanfare. And of course, the late Prince Philip was remembered for his valour during World War II. But you know who was completely absent from this tribute? Prince Harry. That's right, no mention, no image, not even a footnote. The man who spent a decade in uniform, who served on the front lines of war, was erased. The royal family's message ignored a decorated veteran of their own bloodline. Let's set the record straight, because clearly someone in the palace forgot. Prince Harry began his military career in 2004. He trained at the prestigious Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, where he was commissioned as an officer in 2006. From there, he joined the Blues and Royals, one of the oldest and most elite regiments in the British Army. But Harry didn't stop there. He deployed to Afghanistan not once, but twice. His first tour in 2007 was kept secret for security reasons, and when the media embargo was broken, he was pulled out early to ensure the safety of his fellow soldiers. Yet, instead of backing down, Harry returned this time as an Apache helicopter pilot. He completed rigorous training and rose to the rank of captain. He flew combat missions, made split-second life and death decisions, and bore the psychological weight that comes with war. 6 operational missions, real-time enemy engagement, lives saved and lost. That is not ceremonial. That is not symbolic. That is real service. And let's not forget what Harry said in his own words. We serve not to glorify war, but to protect peace. That's the voice of someone who understands the gravity of what service means. Someone who's lived it. So the million-pound question, why was Harry left out? The royal family had an opportunity to show that service, sacrifice and dedication transcend titles and positions. They could have acknowledged Harry's record without politics, without drama, without pettiness. Instead, they chose erasure. Let's be honest, this wasn't an oversight. This was a message, a deliberate omission designed to reinforce a new royal order, one where only the working royals count. One where Harry's choice to step back is used as an excuse to scrub him from the story entirely. But here's the problem. Military service isn't a PR stunt, and veterans are not chess pieces. To ignore Harry's decade of service on Armed Forces Day of all days is not just an insult to him, it's an insult to the entire veteran community, to every soldier who's ever put their life on the line and then returned to find that their sacrifice had been forgotten. Prince Harry didn't just wear a uniform, he lived the experience. His military career shaped him. It gave him structure, purpose and brotherhood. He's spoken candidly about how the army helped him cope with the trauma of losing his mother and gave him a sense of belonging that royal life never provided. In his memoir Spare, He writes with vivid honesty about the challenges he faced in Afghanistan, about the weight of making decisions in life and death situations, and the sobering reality of modern warfare. His experience also laid the foundation for something even more powerful: his work with veterans. He created the Invictus Games, a global platform celebrating wounded service personnel and veterans. It's more than a sporting event. It's a lifeline. It's a community. It's a global movement. Would someone who used the army as a photo op have done that? Let's not pretend. Harry's service isn't performative. It's lived. Interestingly, much of the mainstream British media tiptoed around the omission. Some didn't even mention it. Others merely parroted the palace's message without questioning the absence. But on social media, it was a different story. Veterans, royal fans, and even casual observers noticed the snub instantly. Many pointed out the hypocrisy, the palace thanking all members of the armed forces except one of their most prominent veterans. Comment sections lit up with outrage. How do you forget Harry on Armed Forces Day? Shameful. He flew combat missions. He doesn't deserve this treatment. You can leave the family, but not the brotherhood. In a world where institutions often disappoint, people still expect a baseline level of fairness. And this crossed that line. Part 6. Meghan's steadfast support. And where was Meghan in all of this? Standing by her husband, as she always has. Meghan has never tried to steal the spotlight from Harry's military achievements. In fact, she's supported them, quietly and fiercely, from behind the scenes at the Invictus Games to her presence at military events, where Harry was honoured. She understands what service means to him. And she's also witnessed how painful it's been for Harry to be repeatedly shut out of spaces he once belonged to. While the royal family distances themselves from Harry's legacy, Meghan has helped preserve it. She's ensured that their platform continues to uplift veterans, tell the truth, and promote healing. That's real partnership, that's real duty. So where do we go from here? It's clear the royal family wants to control the narrative, to dictate who counts, who gets remembered, and who gets silenced. But here's the thing about legacy. It doesn't belong to the gatekeepers, it belongs to the people. Prince Harry's military service isn't defined by a carousel of palace images. It's defined by the men and women he served with, by the veterans whose lives have been transformed by the Invictus Games, by the truth. And the truth will always find its voice. This moment, painful as it is also empowering. It reminds us that institutions can exclude, but they cannot erase what is real. Harry served, he bled, he led, and he deserves to be remembered. Let's take a moment to remember some of Harry's biggest accomplishments in the world of veterans advocacy. Invictus Games, launched in 2014, it's now a global event that helps wounded, injured and sick service personnel recover through sport. Head Fit, an initiative Harry helped develop to support mental fitness in the military community. Walking with the Wounded, Harry has supported this British charity dedicated to helping injured veterans transition to civilian life. His speeches, time and time again, Harry has used his voice to destigmatize mental health issues among veterans, something even the military often overlooks. These aren't vanity projects, they are life-saving initiatives. They were born not from privilege but from lived experience. In the end, this exclusion speaks to a larger truth, that Harry and Meghan's independence comes at a price. Every time they succeed on their own terms, the institution seems to retaliate in subtle and not so subtle ways. This omission on Armed Forces Day is just the latest example. But here's the good news. Harry no longer needs royal validation. His record, his service, and his continued work with veterans stand tall on their own. And with Meghan by his side, they are building something more meaningful than palace approval. They're building impact. So let's close on this note. To Prince Harry, Captain Wales, you may have been left out of a palace post, but you haven't been forgotten by the people. To the veterans and service members who recognise what true sacrifice looks like, we see you, we honour you, and we thank you. And to those still trying to silence Harry's legacy, it's too late. His service speaks for itself. Thanks so much for watching today's episode of Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and if you found this episode moving or important, be sure to like, share and subscribe. We'll continue to shine a light on the stories that matter and the voices that deserve to be heard. Until next time, take care, stay proud, and remember, truth always finds its way.